The United States Senate has 100 seats, and one third of them are elected every 2 years. This video will look at the Senate election for 2024, which seats are really up for election. A lot of them are filled in already for either party or lack thereof. Of course, the Senate is well known for having a few independents in the northeast, but the rest of them will. But most members are of a political party, and one of them will win. And if they don't, then the independents will usually caucus with the Democrats, as they have for the last few years. So feel free to go and like and subscribe and whatnot. I feed upon your reactions and whatnot, so yeah, do that. I will have a copy of this map and the map that happens after this in the description as well. So if you want to play around with this this party layout or the seats, then you can feel free to. Okay, so to start off, we're going to start off with a commonly overmissed state by quite a few Republican commentators, that is the state of Nebraska. The reason why Nebraska is not so safe for the Republicans is because there's actually a major independent here with Osborne, with Senate-elect Osborne, I guess. I don't remember first names that well. I just remember last names. It's like, oh yeah, there we are. And yeah, so he could win, but chances are he probably isn't, because this is such Republican Trump home territory. Of course, I called this election for Donald Trump in my last video. If you haven't watched that already, then go ahead. Feel free to watch it, I think it is a likely margin here. Just simply because that independent candidate, Osborne, has been able to make a strong central case, especially espousing to things like populism and gun rights, while also disowning some of the Republicans' less popular policies in the state. Next is the state of Montana. It currently has a Jon Tester as an incumbent, which has made the state quite well blue for a very long time. However, a new rising Republican, Jim Sheehy, is going to win in the state of Montana. Now, out of this election, most of the forecasters give Tim Sheehy a lot of abilities in this state because it is very deep red. And I agree with them. I think a lot of those... America is becoming very divided, and so a lot of people who are voting for the president are going to vote for the president sort of whatever happens. Got to vote for the president's party as well, and so that sort of follow through. You have your Nebraskas, and then you'll have your Minnesotas. I think will probably go red this election. This one's likely. Yeah, and so thus, yeah, I'd give it a likely, or I'd give it a floor rating for this amount. So floor is anywhere between 3.5 and 5. It's one of the extra ones that is added. The only other extra one is really recount and fortified. Fortified is 10 to 15. Recount is 0.5% or less. And then the only one for Congress is already existing state calls. So if a leader has basically already won a state, or if there is no extra or if there is no opposition, if there is no second candidate, then they will have got the state call, which I already have for quite a few Senate seats, because those are the margins are very big. And so I was like, yeah, just give some states to some senators, just right off the bat, you know. These states include these in the South, you know, Indiana, whatnot, Mississippi. You have the Californias, New Yorks. Other than that, yeah. Um, Now with the state of Nevada, Nevada is been forecasted to be quite democratic, and out of these sort of Sunbelt areas, most of their candidates don't really don't perform well because they're not very electable in the Senate, and so I guess a lot of it is going to end up somewhat democratic. I don't think it'll be as much as the polling or the forecasting will say it is, but it seems that Nevada will probably go Nevada. Yeah, you gotta have some accent in that. Nevada is going to go pretty decently to the Democrats. I think it'll be a lean margin for the Dems. Which, yeah, currently the Republicans are way out ahead with 49 Senate seats. Mitch McConnell will be a very happy man if he wins. I mean, not very happy because he's had majorities even in Democratic presidential areas. Of course, Barack Obama won in 2014, and Mitch McConnell stopped him from putting a judge on the Supreme Court, and that's what Mitch McConnell is famous for. Or infamous, even in the Democratic sphere, for doing that to Barack Obama, and to that judge, which I forgot the name of, because I don't really listen to American politics, but I do like making these videos because they're very easy to do. And okay, so what state's next? Oh, Texas. Ted Cruz is running against Allred, which I forgot his first name, but yeah, Texas is a very big red state. I actually have the opinion that Cruz might outperform Trump in the state of Texas. Just like he'll be more consistent in his ability to get people into the polls than Trump. Just simply because he is not just like a native Texan, but he is politically connected to Texas as well. So he sort of he distances himself away from a lot of the Trump issues that resonate nationally and in the Rust Belt, for example, but isn't going to be necessarily in Texas specifically. And so I definitely say Republicans here with 50 seats out of the 51 they need to retain an absolute majority. It'd be worth looking at some Democrat seats to just see where they're at. Currently, I have the state of Pennsylvania quite well deep into Democrat territory, around the same as Nevada, just simply because their candidate has been there since 2006 and has outperformed Obama even in Pennsylvania. And so I definitely argue that he will almost certainly outperform Harris basically no matter where the position for Harris is in Pennsylvania. Even though it is definitely very possible for me to be wrong and for the Republicans to flip the state of Pennsylvania. I think it is pretty unlikely that that is going to happen. Now, in the state of Wisconsin, they have a member that was mainly endorsed by Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan. Currently, Tammy Baldwin has been an incumbent for a bit too. Not as much as the Pennsylvania one, but yeah, still a decent amount of time. I believe she will pretty easily win against the Republic. Oh, it'll be a tough fight for her, but I think she has an edge against the Republicans currently. And so I definitely argue that she's already done that fight. The question is, did she win mainly? Uh, and so I definitely but I think, yeah, probably. And so that's why I put her in the lean category. Now, some Republican states that I'd probably no, or probably I'll continue down the one. I don't think Kari Lake is popular that much at all in Arizona, and so I'd probably, but I still don't think that. But I think Trump is very popular, and his turnout will probably boost Kari Lake's numbers by quite a bit, and so I put the Democrat there, Jim Gallagher, I think, in the lean in the tilt category in the state of Arizona. In Florida, the incumbent Rick Scott is likely to win because he has incumbency, but he also has a very strong primary result of around 85% going to his column. Furthermore, like most of the polls are also, all of them have also gone to him, and there is heavy economic and other trends towards Florida going red, just in general this year. So I will probably give Florida maybe slightly less than Texas in the ratings, but yeah, still quite a bit. In the state of Ohio, I think that Bernie Moreno will win. He is endorsed by President Trump, and he's currently underperforming in the polls from what I think he should be, considering he is. But the issue is that he's performing around as well as where Trump was in 2016 and in 2020, and so I think that this is definitely like a point where he gathers out a bunch of his turnout and just brings it in through Ohio, and so I'll definitely so I think there is, even though I think Sherrod Brown is a very strong candidate, he's a populist, he's got quite a few strong pro-government positions in general when it comes to how to manage inflation and whatnot. I think there is definitely an edge for for Bernie Moreno. Currently, I put Michigan as a bit of a toss-up because their incumbent retired, and currently I think the polls here underestimate Republicans in the new Republican in this position, Mike Rogers, because the position here is like, there is a lot of endorsements, and there is a lot of there's a lot of he's literally endorsed by Donald Trump there, and yeah, there is as well as that around here. There's still quite a few of these polls here, and Slotkin, the Democratic incumbent, has only around 3% lead, and a few toss-up ratings and tilt D ratings around here. So currently, I'm of the opinion that this is probably where the polls are gonna take a bit of a dump in this election. Mainly only in the state of Michigan. So I will. Well, I don't think so. I think it's completely dead even. I think if there is a dump, it's probably going to be in Michigan. So I will. For the act of making my thing slightly different from everyone else's, I will have my prediction as seen on this screen right here. Actually, just slightly different. There we are. Yeah, so this one currently has the Republicans at 153 Senate seats and the Democrats at 45. But the independents who caucus with the Democrats, this is Bernie Sanders and this is Angus King here, teaming up with the rest of the Democrats to create a kind of a mega coalition against the Republicans, because you might be asking, like, why do they need independents, and why do they need so many, and why is the Republicans going to win, like, basically just from winning Montana, Texas, and Florida? And the answer to that question is that there is a growing difference in the houses, because the Senate is based upon the states. And so since more states have been, for a Republican to win for more than 210 electoral votes, they have had to win the majority of states in every election since 1916. So since 1916, for a Republican to win 210 electoral votes or more, they would have had to win a majority of the states. And now that, mixed with the fact that people are voting down the line a lot of the time, means that the Senate is going to be red, and the House, which doesn't have this constraint, is likely to be blue most of the time, because the House has the majority of the electoral votes and the Senate doesn't. And so assuming that the presidency bops between Democrats and Republicans, which may not be much of a good idea to think. A lot of Republicans have been doomering the idea that Democrats could win every election after 2024, for example, or after 2028 or after 2030 because of demographic trends that have happened in the United States. But out of that, chances are, my guess out of the future, I guess, of this, because this marks a landmark election, likely going to be the first election out of many that Republicans are capable of maintaining the Senate. Out of the House and the presidency, it is likely that the Democrats will become the party of the House and presidency over time, until the populism and the division gets destroyed, basically. So yeah, that's my video. Feel free to engage, whatnot. Yeah. So I think I did a pretty good job, and I will spend a lot more time on my thumbnail, because last time I got like 88 views, which was less, apparently. I used to get so many less views on like Geographic News, whatnot. But now I get a little bit more views, because I do something that's actually in demand. So yeah, go do those, and I will see you tomorrow, I believe.